you're watching this video, you've probably had to deal with some form of gender dysphoria, especially if you're trans like me and probably you've probably had to deal with it, and you know that it's super annoying. It leads to bad self-esteem, anxiety, depression, all of these things. And in this video, I'm going to teach you how to combat your gender dysphoria. So what is gender dysphoria? First of all, gender dysphoria is that uneasy feeling you may experience, or that feeling of being uncomfortable in your own body because of having that mismatch of your gender identity and the parts you were born with. I experienced this and I know it's super annoying and awful. One of the important things to keep in mind when tackling your gender dysphoria is trying to recognize where is it coming from, right? Where are these feelings and emotions coming from? And I also do want to mention the importance of passing, or why so many people hold passing to this high level of something that they must achieve, because I understand that passing also comes with being safe and being able to present, feminine. A lot of people worry about their safety, and I get that, but a lot of the times some of that fear is just in our head, and oftentimes that fear comes from anxiety. And one thing we got to question ourselves is, are we really in any danger? Because basically the way our brains are wired is to keep us as safe as possible and keep us away from danger, which was really important when we were still hunter-gatherers in that era. But sometimes we're not even in real danger, right? And I understand the societal pressures of always looking feminine and passing, but oftentimes most people in real life are just concerned about their own lives and have like 1,000 things going on. So I think that to recognize and to remember that sometimes you aren't in really any real danger is really important, and to understand where anxiety comes from, because again, our brains are wired in a way to keep us living and surviving, but sometimes, especially nowadays, it's not very helpful because we need to go about our day, we need to socialize, we need to move around, and being isolated sometimes isn't the best way for us and can even lead to even more gender dysphoria and more anxiety. So I just want to keep that in mind, that I understand that passing sometimes is very important to a lot of people, but even cis women are held to unrealistic expectations. Even cis women are compared. It's just something that comes with being a woman. I think that our bodies are always going to be compared, and just learning to not hold that to be important in your life, to not focus on those things, right? Because oftentimes we're stuck in this loop of comparison, especially with being trans. We compare ourselves to a lot of cis women's bodies, and one thing about being trans is that you also have to learn to live with it and accept it. You can never change being trans, right? It's just the way you were born. You can't change that. And so it's very important that you accept that and just learn that you're beautiful, you're valid the way you are, and that you shouldn't be comparing yourself to other people. Because when you compare yourself to other people, especially cis women, you're taking the focus away from your own life and focusing on other people's lives when you could be doing something to improve your own life. And another thing about like gender dysphoria, right? We want to take actionable steps, right? We want to question, like, is there anything I can do about my gender dysphoria? For example, for me, a big insecurity in my life was my voice. I have worked on my voice a lot, and just remembering that there's things I can do to make it better, right? Me with my voice, I started taking trans voice lessons with a voice therapist. I started looking trans voice lessons up on YouTube, and just trying to make a game plan, taking actions, because ultimately what's going to get you out of your own head and out of that negativity loop is just taking action, right? Another tip is that if you're feeling insecure or ugly or whatever, maybe you want to pick up and learn makeup. Like, makeup does such a big thing for me. Like, it makes me feel beautiful, first of all, and putting on lashes, like, just like the whole thing is just like, I don't know, it makes me feel really pretty and very beautiful. I don't have makeup on right now, but there's just something about it. It just makes me feel really good. And I promise, if you are having trouble with makeup, just take it one step at a time. We were all bad at one point, and like, literally makeup can change your whole look. Like, learning makeup can be really fun, and it can be something that can uplift you and make you feel beautiful. So that's definitely something you can also do. And again, you want to just take action, right? You don't want to get stuck in that loop of like overthinking, thinking you're ugly, all that, because the thing about most of our thoughts is that they live inside our head and they're not in reality. And here's a bonus thing, right? If you ever are feeling like dysphoria from your body, from like being too, like having masculine features or anything like that, just look up women athletes. I like to look at the women from the WWE, like wrestling, right? They're pretty tall, some of them, and like they're just gorgeous, right? They still got their makeup on, but they're very muscular women. And I don't know, I admire that so much. Like, it's just so amazing to see these beautiful women be really strong, because it's something that we don't see often in like society, in our media and all of that. And again, I think that the media definitely puts this pressure on women to look a certain way, but it's just unrealistic.
New York shenanigans.
Again, comparing ourselves, social media and just like media, movies in general, they definitely put this pressure on women to look a certain way, to be really slim, and oftentimes that's like just unrealistic, because again, women come in all types and sizes. Just look at the wrestlers, the women wrestlers that I mentioned before, or like any woman athlete, you will see that even they have, you know, very muscular muscles, and that's something that is often associated with men, right? Being muscular, being like fit, right? But I just think that it's so beautiful to see like women really muscular, really fit. They look beautiful still, and they're just being their authentic selves, and you shouldn't be afraid to be yourself. But I understand that media and all that puts this pressure. Again, it's a pressure that cis women also feel. And even if you look in like your real life, right? When you go to Walmart, when you go to any of these stores, just look around and look at all the women around you. Not all of them look like supermodels, and like you shouldn't be putting this pressure on yourself to look a certain way, because oftentimes it's just unrealistic of the population that exists. You know what I mean? Also, another way to tackle gender dysphoria is also to learning how your body type is, right? Sometimes wearing brighter colors or wearing something that shows your collarbone off or something that shows your shoulders is a little bit more feminine. And if you want to present more feminine, you can also like learn to dress that way. Like, learn what your body type is and what kind of clothes fit your body type in a way that makes you look good, make you feel good. And again, at the end of the day, you should be, you know, dressing so that you can make yourself feel good. And I don't know if this video helped anyone. I hope it did, but that's kind of what I did to tackle my gender dysphoria. I definitely still feel it from time to time, and I try to just remind myself that, you know, a lot of those negative thoughts I have in my head, they just, again, they aren't real, right? They're not living in reality. The only one that's living in reality is like Elsie, right? Me, who is taking action, me who is like being in this physical world. And sometimes we can be our own worst enemy, and just learning to love yourself, I would say, is the biggest thing that will get you to defeat that gender dysphoria. But just also know that gender dysphoria and experiencing it from time to time is also okay. And just remember to be nice to yourself, and you're beautiful, you're valid the way you are, and just to like learning to find the beauty within yourself, I would say. Anyway, let me know down in the comments down below, what do you guys do to tackle your gender dysphoria? What makes you feel good? You know, because again, I'm asking for myself as well, just because I struggle with it a lot, but I want to make more videos of this kind. So just let me know if you liked the video, and if you have any more advice or tips on gender dysphoria, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Yeah, okay, stop it for a second.